Hey, what's going on, guys? The Jet Gun is here. Uh, okay, here's the thing I want to talk about. Gaming. Gaming itself, because, one, there are problems with gaming right now. Well, not in the... Well, for independent gamers, or developers, yeah, but I'm talking about the mainstream developers that we know, like EA, Ubisoft, Bethesda, and hold on, those other ones. We've seen these problems here. Because, one, oh, hold on. You see, the thing is, there's a reason mainstream gaming is done. Because one, it's not putting enough effort in their games, and just like other videos, it is true. They are very greedy companies, but it's a shame because these are companies that made amazing titles, which is very which is very uneasy to see them going down this path. Because one, no, this isn't what I remember. Because one, remember, Ubisoft created Far Cry, the best series ever, and and they and so far it's not really looking too good. Well, Far Cry New Dawn felt very shallow. The only reason I bought it is because of reasons. Starting to regret that very immediately. Also, Far Cry 5 at least had something because one, it followed the Far Cry formula. Well, sort of. Probably, I guess people didn't like it because it took place in another country. Because so far, Far Cry was always with that formula with the kids. Remember how Far Cry 3 had the story where a bunch of kids just went to an island? Yeah, I guess people didn't like it because it didn't really sort of follow the formula. Because Fallout. Now I'm not gonna say that's how it's that's how it needs to be, but Fallout. No, sorry. Far Cry 3, 2, and 4 were about a bunch of foreign people. Sorry. All right. Far Cry 2, 3, and 4 were all about a bunch of people from America going to foreign countries, or at least that's what I assume. I never really played Far Cry 2. All I'm trying to say is, everyone liked it because it sort of answered the question of that. I guess people didn't like Fallout 5 for doing it because, one, it just felt a little bit shallow. But at least it had good characters, at least. Sure, sure, some of them aren't memorable, but still, you gotta appreciate Joseph Seed. Now, and this is the problem with Ubisoft too, because they're very confusing, in my opinion. They're, they listen to people, but at the same time, they don't. And yes, it is true. They are very shallow at times. This is something that needs to be fixed, or at least this is one of the reasons why I want Far Cry to go in the public domain, and many others too. Now let's look at another company, Bethesda. Oh, Bethesda, how fallen you've fallen, and how far you've fallen. I mean, seriously, what is this? I have to pay for features. What the freak is that? What, like, that's literally very hurtful, not just to the player, not just to consumers, but to their own pride. Well, I shouldn't say pride, because to their own judgment. They they screwed themselves so bad that's literally impossible to understand them anymore. Heck, I mean, Fall I personally would have enjoyed Fallout 76 if it wasn't like this. I mean, I really wanted to see what Fallout multiplayer could be like. But instead we got this shallow, boring, bland excuse. So yeah. All I can say is, what the freak happened, Bethesda? Like, what did they, what were they thinking when making this? They did not go over this. They literally should have delayed this game many months later to finish it. And this entire game is just so horrible. And it's very insulting to their previous games. Like, look at Fallout 3, the game I'm playing right now. Sure, it looks very crappy. The graphics are terrible, but at least it's fun. At least it had something. So, yeah. I haven't played I haven't finished the game yet, but at least it has something. Like, dude, Bethesda, you have literally fallen from grace so hardly. In the most saddest way possible, dude. Like, for real. Like, look at Fallout 4 in New Vegas and 3. They were Fallout 3 and New Vegas were special. I didn't play them, but pretty sure they were very cool because old times. In Fallout 4, at least it had some sort of at least it had something in it. The only reason it's still alive today because mods. The modded community is the sole reason Fallout 4 is still standing. And the reason that it's still here. Because one, nobody liked it. Well, I mean, the Creation Club was a disaster, apparently. I don't know what happened, but apparently it's a disaster. And let's look at the other facts. The modded community feels like it does a better job than Bethesda. I mean, does anyone else remember Fallout Miami? Remember that mod that was gonna come out? Remember that mod that a bunch of people way better than Bethesda could make? It really tells you how awful Bethesda is with this. Because a modded community can do more work than Bethesda themselves. I don't want to see that. It's sad to see it, but still, they literally do a better job than Bethesda. And I don't want to say this over and over again because like I said, these mainstream companies had potential in the past. And it's frustrating to see this. It's like EA. Oh, EA games. They fall from grace too. Because, sir, everyone knows them as the most greediest, horrible company in the world. But they weren't really like this many years ago, I think. Because, one... Now, I'm not saying they were perfect, but at least they weren't greedy. I mean, does anyone else not remember how things were back then with EA? I guess their greed started with, I'm guessing, let's see, The Sims. Because that game had a lot of monetization in it. It just felt very shallow and boring. Everything about it just felt like an insult to the series. I mean, I don't really play it that much. I have it, but Fallout The Sims 3 feels like it just could have more potential. The Sims 3 is really better than 4, apparently, because of the reviews. That's one of the reasons why everyone just does not like EA, because they fell from grace too. their games are very predatory. What do I mean? You know the loot boxes. Yes. Remember what? Remember that 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 poorly excuse where they just said surprise mechanics? Remember that one? They think that that's gonna fly, but no one, no one is dumb enough to fall for that. It's just gambling mechanics. That's what it is. That's what it is. And shame on EA for this, because you're very predatory and very shameful because it's trying to excuse grabbing money out of your pockets for items that you can't even use in real life. And they tried to make an example with uh, the toys you get. Now, what am I? Well, I'm guessing. Well, I don't know if. I mean, they're wrong because trying to compare loot boxes to physical toys are very, 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 very impossible. Because one, yes, it is true. Pokemon cards, the ones you see at the stores are yes, they are very randomized, but you can at least do something with them. And I don't really know. I never really bought those cards, but I'm pretty sure at least. But they would. Okay, maybe there are like that, but at least you could physically use them. You could use them physically, and that's it. That's why everybody hated when Bethesda did. EA did this because they were trying to compare a physical toy to a fake to a digital item you couldn't even use. So yeah, it's this is what EA is trying to do. They'll do whatever it takes to save their stock prices. But you could just make good games, and you wouldn't have to, and these things wouldn't have to happen. They always do these shady, manipulative practices. They think people are stupid enough to fall for this. Well, no, not every. I mean, probably fanboys would because fanboys will do anything to protect their company. So of course fanboys would, but not everyone is a fanboy. So there's a point, and this is my final verdict out of all. Caring about your consumer. You know why mainstream gaming sucks? Or mainstream developers suck now? That's because they lost touch with the consumer. Because look at Nintendo. I mean, I'm not gonna say Nintendo's innocent because remember Mario Kart? Remember Mario Kart towards shady practices. Even though Bandai Namco, the guys who create Pac-Man, were on this too. Yes, apparently. Yes, apparently. How do I say it? Bandai Namco was working on Mario Kart Tour. So yeah, and look at. But at least Nintendo is still a good company because it doesn't like censorship. At least that's something good. Although it's gonna be hard because like I keep saying, Mario Kart Tour, and that's another example. But I know I shouldn't care because it's a mobile game and mobile games are terrible. But well, I don't know. It just felt very butt hurting, even though. So yeah, the truth is mobile. The truth is Nintendo at least still has some morals at least. Even though Mario Kart Tour, Moore's gonna keep using that. Moore's gonna keep using that. So yeah, let's see here. Let's look at another company, Rockstar. Yes, yes, the companies that never really made sure GTA 5 got its single player campaign because they work with Take Two. And so far we know what Take Two has done these days, don't we? We know what Take Two has done this year. So far they've done a lot of shady practices. Like remember the Borderlands 3 controversy where they just sent a bunch of dudes like when they went full on mafia on a dude because he was he was leaking videos of Borderlands 3. Yeah, that sort of ruined the company's reputation. Or it did. Because that's butt hurting. Because it's just, they sent a bunch of goons, to, to a dude's house because he leaked some stuff. Or at least, that's what I assume. Or at least that's a story though. That's what I remember. I'm not saying, although, if there is something like this, go look it up yourself. Look up the Borderlands 3 controversy. Okay, so, also, so yeah, this kind of proves just how awful mainstream companies are very disconnected with the consumer because no, this is not what I want. I don't want this. I don't want to I don't want this to be the future of gaming. Or at least AAA gaming because the only thing keeping it alive is Nintendo, Rockstar, and CD Projekt Red. Man, Cyberpunk 2077 helped me open up a lot. And I'll mention that in another video. So yeah, these companies are the only thing that's still hanging, making sure the dying AAA industry doesn't die out. Because at least some of these games do have potential, despite them being the most horrible business practices I have ever seen in my entire life. So yeah, that is the problem with the industry. It's go they have to resort to such shadiness in order for us, the consumer, to say yes to this. They think everyone will accept this. Well, no. That's why everyone buys. I mean, look at the guys at Steam. Look at what they're doing. They make good games. Because they're independent developers. And independent developers really know how to make good games. Because they're very connect with the consumer. So excuse me. That's one of the reasons why no one likes the AAA industry anymore. Because it's shallow, it's greedy, and it's just disheartening. Very disheartening to see this. And that's why indie developers, the good ones, are very good. And I and yes, there was a video called that was released by your boy the Act Man. Go see that video. Now he was talking about how the decline of quality gaming is dying. And it is true. Because the companies aren't making the quality that made the games good anymore. Such as, I mean, look at the originals. Notice how they had more content than the than the new ones. Like so far, Gears of War 5 is complete trash. I mean, look at the old Gears of Wars. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't play those games, but all I know is one thing. Everyone does not like the Bethesda's new way of working. It's disheartening. It killed what made the games good and original, and yes, the quality of the AAA industry is dying. And the only things that are saving it are Nintendo, Rockstar, and CD Projekt Red. Oh, and all those and apparently all of Sony's exclusive game developers. Dang it, Sony, you really know how to find the good guys. So yeah, the thing is that if you ever want to become a game developer, you need to put hard work and soul in your games. Because if not, you're just gonna make a very, very shallow, awful video game. And that's something you should not do. Because, one, you'll make a lot of money when you pander to the consumers and not these dumb business practices. And that's something the owners of all these mainstream media, no, all these mainstream developers need to do. They need to be more connect with the consumer, and so far it has proven you make more money when you do that with the consumer. It kind of proves just how lazy all these mainstream developers are, because they don't use their brains. They just use the first thing that comes to their mind. And that is why the AAA industry is dying. And it is also being... The AAA industry is at a very gigantic decline. And the only thing that's saving it is CD Projekt Red, Nintendo, and Rockstar. And all of Sony's apparently good developers. So yeah. This is something as the consumers, we need to do. Remember, vote with your wallet, because that's what everyone does. Because as long as you use your wallet and think about the product you're buying, it'll be okay. Because remember, the reason we're at this is because consumers bought the product anyway. And this is what we need to do. Do not buy these lazy products anymore, and only support the products that are very worth it. And that way, everything will be okay. And the industry may get repaired, but it'll take a long time for that to happen, because EA Games and video game publishers, gosh, they ruin the industry too. So yeah, that's all I have to say. See ya.